That's the best book launch strategy. You take people on a journey. This is a game for life.
Hi.
There she is. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am fantastic.
Awesome.
So how can I help? What do you got?
How can you not help? So many things. I loved hearing you on Travis's podcast. I took so much from it. One of my favorite things that you talked about was the fear of regret and your story about looking at the river and taking that picture and that you carried that with you.
Wow, yeah, okay.
Huge. So that really spoke to me, and kind of in the things that I'm diving into right now, this fear of regret it's driving it a little bit. I'm at a stage in my life where I do love what I'm doing. I'm a cardiology nurse practitioner, and it's an awesome job. I have a great gig, and I love everything about it. But I'm still rather young, and I still see myself going further, and I want to broaden my reach. I want to be able to get to as many people as possible and impact as many lives as possible. Okay. So therefore, with this not fearing regret, I wrote my first book. And
nice.
Thank you. It's due to hopefully come out sometime at the end of October. It's still in editing, but I'm hoping we're wrapping up. And I watched your series with Neil Pastrika. I might be saying his name wrong.
Yeah, Pastrika, yeah.
Okay, how to sell 1 million books. So that was super helpful.
But are you self-publishing this, or are you're going with a publisher?
I am. So I'm self-publishing, but it's through a self-publishing division of a popular publishing house, which kind of aligns with my work. Okay. So I wanted to ask what your thoughts are about that, because I've heard you kind of talk about in your publishing experience, looking for an agent and kind of going in that direction. And I chose a different direction. So what are your thoughts on promotion with self-publishing?
The promotion is honestly the same. I mean, publishers don't really do much to promote you.
Okay.
I'm gonna, hey, maybe this time around I'm publishing my next book next year, and maybe they'll do a great job. But in general, I just wouldn't expect that from publishers. What publishers give you is one, distribution into bookstores.
Okay.
So if you want your book in stores, you have to go with a publisher. To get it self-published and be in stores it's not that it's not possible, it's just a crazy uphill climb.
Okay.
And two, they give you great editorial, you get an editor, they'll look through it. Even if I send my book out to 30 people and got feedback in typos, and then my editor always catches 1,000 more typos, right? Mm-hmm. Even though I've read it so many times and 30 other people saw it, and they still catch other stuff. So that they're really, really good at. And it gives you the brand name of, hey, I'm with Penguin, and hey, I'm with Simon & Schuster. That's meaning less and less, to be honest.
Okay.
It used to be the only way to get attention is to have a book. That meant you made it. Now, if you have an Instagram following, if you have a YouTube following, if you're making it, that's enough credibility for a lot of people. So the promotion side is basically the same.
Okay.
What's your book about?
So it's called Black Balloons Will Pop for Freedom. I'm doing the things that you tell me. I'm wearing my branded shirt because I have to represent, right?
Does it say something? Can we see it?
It does. Can you see? It's
Will
probably backwards.
Pop for Freedom, Black Balloons. Okay.
Yeah.
Will Pop for Freedom, Black Balloons. Okay.
That's the name of the book, is Black Balloons. And it kind of, like you've discussed too, that your purpose kind of comes from your pain and what you've experienced, and that's what's going to take you further in being able to impact people. So it's kind of what this book is about. It chronicles 9 chapters and 9 very difficult situations that hopefully people can relate to, and then gives you all the tools to essentially pop those black balloons and find ultimate freedom to become your best self.
And what is a black balloon? That's your pain?
That's your pain. That's your difficult, crappy thing that life hands you, that you aren't in control of.
And the story you tell yourself around it afterwards?
It kind of goes throughout. So there's personal involvement in each chapter, but then also application. Got it.
So now it's about you being able to get in front of as many people and share the story.
Okay.
Right? Even, I don't know how long you've been following the stream, what we've even doing today, but one of my first guests was Chase Jarvis.
Okay, I didn't get to see that. I was working.
No worries. No. I mean, I have his book right here, right? Creative Calling. He's doing his book tour. He's launching on Tuesday, and I had him on a guest on this show. We're going to download it, put it to YouTube, he's doing 1,000 other shows, right? It's contacting everybody you know who has an audience, and then finding the story that relates most to their audience.
Okay.
So Chase coming on my channel, we're going to talk about entrepreneurship.
Okay.
Chase going on somebody else's channel, you're going to talk about something else,
Sure.
right? So you think about your close friends may help, but you can tap that out pretty quickly.
Right.
It's going to be more the extended people. So I mean, we're talking because I was on Travis's podcast and I said I was going to give away a 25-minute session with one of his listeners for leaving a review, or I forget. I just love Travis.
Easiest thing to enter. You guys, you could have made it a little harder.
Great. Well, listen, and you won. You did it. Right? Maybe you had a fantastic review. So even that, like, how do you get on Travis's show? And his show is about connections and networking, right? Yeah. So how do you get on? How does your book relate to networking? How do people need to pop their black balloons to be a better networker? Right?
Get over fear.
Of course. I mean, of course, yes. I mean, I know you have the answer, but somebody looking at what you want to do is make it easy for Travis to say yes.
Okay.
Travis knows who you are. I mean, maybe he didn't know who you were before the contest. Maybe he did. Maybe he's your best friend from high school. I don't know. But like, the point is, he knows who you are.
Right.
He's got a show. He's got an audience. How can you use your book to give value to his audience?
Perfect.
Don't make it easy for him. Say, this is about popping black balloons. I want to talk about how to do that in a networking context, because people can't make good networking happen if they're holding on to their fears.
Okay.
And I want to talk about how to do that, right? Even though there's no chapter in your book about networking, right? It's still applicable.
It's very applicable. Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, that's fantastic advice.
And so, the same thing if you have a connection who's in a beauty space. Great, like pop your black balloons for here, right? Fitness, same thing. So anybody who's a weak connection, go to your LinkedIn, go to your Instagram, see who you're connected to, see who knows who has any kind of audience, and then that's the goal, is to get the book in their hand, like send them the book so they can hold it up, right? Like Chase's, do you know Chase Jarvis?
I don't. Probably should, though.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great guy, awesome entrepreneur, all about creativity. But he rushed this to me because we did the show today, right? I said, I'm going to New York. I'm in New York right now. So, like, we had to get it shipped earlier. So normally he would have signed it. They put a little card from the publisher saying, hey, sorry, Chase couldn't sign this because we wanted to rush it to you. So that when he comes on my show, he can hold up the book, I can hold up the book. I have a little bit of context over what it is. I can ask him a question that, I read part of the book. I haven't finished it because it's only been a couple days.
Right.
But there's still enough in there that I can say, hey, on page 28, you said this, and I'm curious about that, right?
Right.
So now we're talking about the book in not just a promotional way, but I'm genuinely curious about it. So get your book to them, and then book an interview like this, IG Live.
That's good. IG Live is a great idea. Okay.
Session on their channel, whatever it is, and make it easy for them to see how your book connects to what their audience cares about. They're always looking for great guests, and if you make it easy for them to say yes, because you're bringing a different perspective.
Right.
Right? Like, I brought a different perspective to Travis's. That's not who he usually has on. I'm not a hardcore networking guy. I'm an introvert.
But you're really good at it, though.
Well, I mean, it was a different perspective compared to most of the guests that he probably has on his show. I mean, I haven't listened to the show. I don't listen to podcasts, but it's weird to have a guy like me come onto a networking show because I'm not the networking guy, right? But I love that he flew from Vegas, I think it's in Vegas, to Toronto, where I am, just to do the show, right? I made time for him because he was willing to do that, which maybe for some people you do too. Like, I don't know if you're willing to, there's costs involved in all that as well. But go through when does your book come out?
Hopefully end of October, as long as editing is done.
Right. Okay. And it doesn't only have to be around launch strategy. It could just be ongoing. So look at how many LinkedIn connections you have and who's following you on Instagram and how many followers they have, and then start reaching out to say, hey, I launched my book. I'd love to come on and do a show together to talk about popping black balloons and how it applies to their audience.
I love it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And then so that's easy. It's work. It's not easy in terms of time commitment, but it's easy to do. You just have to dedicate time to it every day.
Each day to do it.
Which can, that's the challenge. Mm-hmm. Because you got a job and you got other stuff happening in your life. Mm-hmm. But saying no, from 9 to 10 or from 6 to 7 or whatever, every day I'm in book promotion mode and I'm going to reach out to more people to do this.
Perfect. And that's true. I mean, anything that you're committed to, you find the time to do. So that's 100% true. I just have to find that space to do that every day.
Plan it in that makes sense for like balance, whatever balance means to you.
Yeah.
That then you can dedicate 30 to 60 minutes a day in a reasonable way, that you're not throwing your whole life, out of crazy and now you're getting sick and, all that stuff.
Right. Yeah. I can't have that. That's for sure.
So, but it has, put it in your calendar and it's got to be a priority. This is important if you want your message to get out there. Mm-hmm. So that'd be the first one. The second low-hanging fruit would be already people who are following you. How many people follow you on Instagram?
A little over 5,000.
Great. And so how many people do you know you're getting a day?
That I don't know. Like adding?
Yeah.
It varies. Well, that was another thing I was going to ask you about too. And I know this is silly, but I notice it. I know you talk a lot about just continuing to put content out. It needs to be every day. You need to be consistent. So I do that, but sometimes I feel like the more consistent I get, the more followers start dropping off. What are your thoughts on that?
You need to give them more value.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
You will churn some people. Some people came for one thing and then they get tired of you or they don't like what you're posting.
Right.
Awesome.
True.
Right? So great. Get better. How do you get better? More practice.
Right.
More content.
Okay.
Right? I lose people every day, but net I'm growing.
Okay.
I post 6 times a day. Plus lives. Plus this is my 3rd Instagram live today. Plus I'm on YouTube live behind me.
Right.
Right? Don't expect people to look at I've been live streaming all day long. I don't expect anybody to sit through the entire live stream.
True.
I don't expect everybody to watch all 3 IG lives that I've done today. I don't expect everybody to look at all 6 posts and comment and everything. Just fine.
It's not feasible, right?
Right. Don't expect it. But if every post, I would come up with a content calendar where you're maybe one post is a picture of the book, or a picture of a page of the book, or a quote that you really like from your own book, and then you tell me a story in the caption. Maybe one is a video of you sitting in front, you feel very genuine and authentic coming through the camera. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people have a really difficult time being real because the camera comes on and they now become the persona and fake, and so you could use that to your strength of what you learned through this book. Yeah, well, I think you can use it, right? I think that's great. You're very genuine, and so video could be a good strength for you. So,
speaking of that, because of you being on Travis's podcast, I launched my YouTube channel with no anything. So it's me and my phone and all the non-things.
Yeah.
But the other thing I'm doing, because I found a lot of value in this, what you said, I don't edit any of my videos. Yeah. So I'm going to get through 10 minutes every single time, whatever it is I'm talking about, but zero editing. So hopefully I get to some point in my life where I can have somebody help me with editing and it can be, much
and
better.
But listen, look at, what are you talking about? What's the subject of your book?
On my YouTube channel?
No,
talking about that?
Your book is about breaking the things that has been your limitations.
Holding you back, yeah.
You're living it on YouTube.
Yeah. True.
I just flubbed. You're making a mistake and you halfway through you forgot what you were doing, or you tripped on the stair and fell down or something. Film, post, this is the process.
Okay.
Your whole thesis is don't be perfect.
Right.
Right? Your whole thesis is break the story that's been holding you back.
Right.
So now you're actually living it with no editing. Mm-hmm. Right? So even now, I was just on a podcast before, they've already done 200 episodes, and somewhere in there I made a mistake. And she's like, No, don't worry, we can edit that out. Like, don't edit that out.
No, it's
No.
leave it. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that I made a mistake. It's the best. Let's go, right? And so, yes, you can eventually get an editor to follow you around. To like put intros and extras and all this stuff on it. But I think for the genuineness that you have, you should keep the mistakes that you make.
Okay, that's good advice because I did it yesterday. I left it.
If you film it and you like, and you film the intro 4 times, and then you're like, oh, like I can't get this. No, come on. You can do this, right?
Yeah.
And then like all of it, keep it all in. That's the best. Like you're a real human. That's the thing that's going to make people connect to you.
Love it.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
But like Instagram. Instagram should be your first to get the book out now. YouTube, nobody's going to watch yet.
Right.
So that's your this is your mission for life. You want to help people pop black balloons, right? Forever. So YouTube, you're building content, you're building this library, and you're building a skill set. But you're not going to, for this October launch of your book, YouTube's not going to do very much for you.
Okay.
That's okay.
Okay. My
focus would be Instagram, creating content, a mix of pictures, quotes from the book, you on camera giving me an update. If you met somebody who popped a black balloon recently, or you're popping another one, because you're never done popping black balloons. Like,
no, they keep
there's
coming
always
at
another
you.
one that come up.
All day, every day.
So telling me, like maybe coming on this was scary for you, and say, hey, I just popped another black balloon, and like,
true,
right? You take people on a journey, right? That hey, I'm ahead of where I used to be, but I'm not done. This is a game for life. That could be a 1-minute video for Instagram that people would really resonate and connect with, as opposed to pretending like you got it all figured out and everything's perfect, right?
Right.
Like that authenticity is the thing that will make people want to buy the book. Okay. So regular content calendar on your Instagram and play with different formats.
Okay.
Even the video, there's lots of ways to do video, whether it's your personal story, whether it's you taking me on something in your life and explaining the black balloon, whether it's something in the media or the news that you want to talk about. Like you play with it to find a mix of what you like, plus what is actually getting a reaction from the audience.
Okay.
So at the beginning, it's experimenting and just seeing what kind of sticks.
What sticks, yeah.
And then I would personally do a DM to everybody who follows you on Instagram.
Okay.
A video DM. Hey,
Travis
Susan.
said to do that too.
Great. Hey, Susan. Thank you so much for following me on Instagram. I really appreciate it. Hey, I'm curious. What's the black balloon you're going to pop in your life this week?
Oh, that's good.
Send. Hey, Johnny. Thank you so much for following me on Instagram. I'm really curious. What's the black balloon you're going to pop in your life this week? Right? Like, I'm just pulling words, but something like that. Okay. And then some of them will write back, and some of them say, what's a black balloon? And some of them say, I'm trying to crush this. And so you're building, when you're getting 1,000 followers a day, that's not feasible, but that's a great problem to have.
Yeah, that would be an amazing problem to have, for sure.
If you're getting 5 a day, then you do 5 video DMs a day, right? That's not that hard to do. It takes you 10 seconds each. In under a minute, you're done, right? It just builds that community, and these people then become more loyal super fans for you, who will comment on your post, who then that allows the algorithm to spread your content a lot more. They're going to buy the book when it comes out. That becomes your awesome fan base, and nobody does it. Like nobody DMs and says, "Hey, thank you for following me. I appreciate you. What's the thing you're trying to solve in your life right now? Right? What's the black balloon you're trying to pop?" Nobody does that.
I love it. So I'm happy to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, I get it. I know you will, because you love connecting with people, and also, like, it's a great strategy, but just when you get the feedback back to say, I'm so overwhelmed that you sent me that message. Thank you so much. Nobody's ever done that. Or they share their story of the balloon that they're trying to pop. It's going to fill up your heart.
Yeah, I'll die a little. That's for sure.
I know.
That's amazing.
I know. Yeah. So for other people, it's just a strategy that can work, but for you, it's actually purposeful and meaningful. Yeah. So the key, though, is to connect to it each time.
Okay.
Because even if you're saying the same message, you get 5 followers a day, you're saying the same message 5 times, it's easy to land in photocopy mode and just substitute the name. Hey, Johnny, thank you so much for following me. What's the black balloon you're trying to pop, right?
No,
connect.
I can't do it. I don't have that in me, I don't think.
Look at their picture. Look at Johnny's picture. Look at Susie's picture. Imagine them, and then like they're in front of you, and they just followed you, and you want to say thank you, and you genuinely care about what the black balloon is that they want to pop in their life. And then from that feeling, emote, express, even though it's only 10 seconds, that could make their entire week, their entire week, their entire month, that somebody cared to reach out.
I love everything about this.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So those 3 things to launch your book, right? YouTube is after YouTube, like create the content, yes, but I would prioritize Instagram because we want to get the book out.
Okay.
So you're going to reach out to everybody who you know, who's a connection on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and pitch them how your message connects to their message, how Black Balloons relates to networking. 2, you're going to create content every day on Instagram and experiment with the format, whether it's quotes or pictures or videos, until you find a thing that you love and also works. And then 3, you're going to DM every new person who follows you. And if you have extra time, like you can go back in the archive. You got 5,000 people following you.
Yeah.
Even start with the people who are commenting on your picture or liked your picture. Hey, Deborah, thank you so much for hearting my picture. I really appreciate you. What's the black balloon you're trying to pop in your life, right? So that you can hit 10, 20, 50 people a day responding to people, and that'll help build up support for what you're trying to do.
It's perfect, because it's true. I mean, I really do appreciate every single follower. Like, it's not easy to kind of develop that. So anyone who hasn't unfollowed, of course, you're super appreciative of that. So,
yeah, and start with the people who are already engaging with your content.
Yeah.
Like when you post something, you get somebody who's liking it and somebody who's commenting on it. It may not be where you want it to be. Maybe there's only 2 comments and 15 likes, right?
But
awesome.
yeah, it's still.
Those are 15 people. Those are 15 real people, and they all help black balloons to pop.
Exactly.
So let's just say thank you, and I'm here for you, right?
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah,
I love
that's the best book launch strategy. And then the YouTube becomes your long-term game where you're doing this for life. You're making content. You're getting better at making videos and being a thought leader and speaking for 10 minutes without needing editing. Because all the Instagram stuff you're going to create is basically going to disappear. Nobody's going to look back 2 weeks at your stuff.
Right.
But it's combining the short term to get some book sales and have impact, right? Like you want people to read the book so they can make a real change in their life, right? I mean, it's not just about selling. It's about getting into people's hands so they change their life.
Actually make a change, yeah.
You're right. Yeah, and then YouTube long term, because this is only the first of 22 books that you're going to put out and the impact you're going to make.
I hope you're right about that. Yeah.
No, but you make it right. You make that happen, right? You make that happen by doing it. So I feel that it's not just a short-term thing for you. This is a long-term mission that you're on. And so YouTube is the right place, but I also want you to make a short-term impact. So Instagram should be your priority for the close of the year.
You got it.
All right. And for people who are watching this live or we put it on YouTube, where can they go to follow you and learn about popping black balloons?
At Christy Lee Cronin on Instagram.
Cool. And listen, you got this. For everybody watching, she got this because I did a challenge on another podcast for somebody who leaves a positive comment on his podcast and a thumbs up on like iTunes reviews or something like that. And she did it. And she won. And so putting good out there, supporting people in your life. Yeah, supporting good people. Good stuff comes back to help you.
Yeah.
Christy's a living case of that. And now I learned about the black balloon movement, and so I'm excited to see where it all goes. I got to think what black balloons I need to pop. That could even be a video. Like you could send people black balloons. Now we're going on tangents. I know we got to move on, but you send people black balloons, and then they say I'm afraid of whatever, and then they pop it.
Yeah,
right?
And that's my thing. Like you can write on there your thing and just pop it, get rid of it.
Yeah. But and then as people do it, they share it, and then you post their videos to Instagram too. I love it. Right? I'm not good enough. Right?
Done. Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I like it.
If you want to know why your comfort zone is destroying your life, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.